some tiebreakers, baby. So let's go, game one. Also,
right,
before we get into the game, are you a fan of Venge, bro?
I'm kind of neither here nor there with the hero, you know? Any kind of hero that has repositioning capabilities, I'm always going to be a fan of, you know, whether it be Mars, Venge, Tiny, even Tusk, once he gets the Aghanim Shard, it's going to be pretty strong. But Magnus, so I can see it potentially working. Maybe not so much this game, though. You know, they've leaned so much into the physical damage side of things that obviously that Vengeance Aura is going to be able to buff them up a lot. But really, I don't know. I don't know how strongly I feel about this. For Limit Gaming, what I really want to see them do is start with a tri-lane. You need to get that first blood, and Slark, Rubik, Venge can absolutely make that happen.
And if you get that,
do they have any blood grenades? They do. They've got one on the Rubik.
Only the one.
One's enough.
Okay.
You just need one. Just want that first blood. And you can leave Brood solo for a tiny bit at the start of the game. They're actually going to scout him, making the movements through the jungle with this Observer Ward up towards the bounty runes. So Ukyo is going to be protecting it, maybe chopping down a couple of trees here and there.
Ukyo's just like, you will not have the free pathing, my friend. I will know exactly where you're at. Let's see who wins the click war, though. It's going to be Ukyo. That makes it a 2-2 affair. Nice and a normal start to the game. I'm very intrigued by what this offlane is going to bring us. Like you mentioned, TZY hasn't necessarily been playing with iG.V all that much, and they have looked better without him. So in this game, he does kind of have a fairly important role, right? Because they don't actually have big teamfight disable without him and the Spirit Breaker, so he can't actually have a bad game on the Beastmaster.
You do have to say, though, can you have too many bad lanes as a Beastmaster? I don't think so. You know, like, it just seems like no matter what the lane is, you're going to have a skill build that's going to enable it to work. You know, if you got someone that doesn't really have the ability to clear out illusions, you could just max out the Call, the Wild Boar, and really make their lives a little bit more challenging. If they've got, you know, plenty of range that's able to harass you out, Wild Axes, totally fine. So I think TZY, he should be able to have a fine enough job down here.
This mid lane, Void Spirit,
Timber. Them having
Timber.
any kill threat up on this top side with the Broodmother and the Rubik? I'm really not. I don't think they should ever be in a situation on iG.Vitality. Like, Ponyo's going to be the one that gets gone on. So maybe, like, at level 2, if he gets telekinesis back into a wave and you start right-clicking him up with a blood grenade, you're able to make it happen. But that's going to rely on them getting level 2 before iG.Vitality does, and maybe that'll happen. I don't know. Let's see if he's able to get pulls off, but looks like it's been blocked.
I think the question about the action, I think this is just generally going to be very boring lanes. Like, the only hero that I think dies early is maybe like a mispositioned Venge. I don't envision a Rubik. Why is he this far forward? All right. Well, they're not going to get level 2s first because they're going to end up dead on CXK. And to make matters worse, they know, you know what's the worst part? He threw out his blood grenade before dying. Feels bad.
I mean, that's the thing, right? I'm all about you buy items for a purpose. If you're going to buy farming items, you should farm. You know, don't go Battle Fury and just instantly join in onto team fights. And if you go a Diffusal Blade, that's not really going to make your farming all that more efficient unless your name is Phantom Lancer. So just join the fights, make something happen with it. So with a blood grenade in this lane, I'm like, when were you really expecting to get kills against, in my opinion, one of the strongest lanes that we've seen so far this DPC tour?
Yep. Obscene amounts of sustain on the Bloodseeker, lots of protection from the Lich. Very, very hard. So
Lich was holding 2 blood grenades as well, so it was clear that they were the ones that were wanting to get aggressive, and well, you know what, they did.
It's going to be a nice little injection of gold. From this mid lane for the Void Spirit, right? Is the matchup supposed to be this difficult? Because he's really struggling right now, being doubled up in the CS department by Butterfly Effect.
I mean, what can he do is the thing, right? Like, especially now that Timbersaw is a universal hero, right? The way to beat Void Spirit is just to be able to right-click him down in lane, just consistently get off a ton of harass, because he doesn't have a lot of armor to begin with. And as soon as you move forward, you're going to get Whirling Death done too. Like, there is really nothing that Chosen One can do in this sort of lane.
It's got to see a blood grenade thrown out there by Xusheng. He's the one hero that I thought would end up dead, and it looks like it might actually happen here. But Hara not getting the bashes. He's not pressing his bash button, Danog. He eventually gets the kill, and now maybe he'll use the bash onto the slog. Still not pressing the button, but gets a double kill regardless. Hara and TZY putting in a lot of pressure down in this bottom lane. and able to put Limit Gaming into a very awkward position because this is Beastmaster now playing advanced into your tower.
Ben,
You don't have much more time to play here.
TP in here? I'm not sure if you can pause. Xanting?
I don't know what Xanting is. Okay. That was very weird. He called the pause, but maybe he couldn't pause. I don't know. Hotkey was broken or something. Well, surprisingly, I'm actually kind of shocked that TZY and Hara didn't immediately jump onto the Shu Shang Venge, but let it go.
I'm a little surprised too. Maybe you just feeling like, look, we already used the glyph on the creep wave to enable that previous dive. I mean, Hara might be able to get... How much damage does he have? No, I won't be able to right-click that create. Can you bash couriers?
That is an interesting question. I have never thought about that, if I'm honest with you, Dana.
I don't know. Extra damage that they need, because I think if he stays to try and like double right-click it, he's probably going to die. But I mean, Venge just TP'd here, so this is a pretty long Slark TP. Still 3 seconds left on it, so going to be very worthwhile to be able to remove all of that regen if he's able to take it out. Honestly, even if he dies, I think it's fine.
Goes through debuff immunity, right? So you should be able to. You should be able to. I don't know if you actually can, but you should be able to.
Remember if I've ever seen it. That's the thing.
Let's see. Hara. Oh no. Korea's living. Oh no. Noobs. Absolute noobs.
We need to know.
His regen. But the thing is, Hara hasn't been pressing his bash button. All right, he might still do it. He might still do it. Please press your bash button.
There we go. The bash happened.
It does.
Now we know. You're gonna pull that one out on a cast snare and be like, but what if he bashes the courier? Like, you can't bash courier. He's like, no, I saw.
I was there. I learned. Still though, it's not gonna really change all that much. I think this early game still looks very good for iG.Vitality. They're out farming all these lanes. And bottom, okay. I don't want to talk about bottom for a second because Hara, Hara, if you die here, this is your own fault, bro. You should be A-okay. Everything should be Gucci. We'll get blood grenaded though, and he's still not charging anyway. Magic missiles coming. He's actually gonna die. Oh my god, Hara's boots went backpack. He's still alive though, hasn't been brought down just yet. And on the other side of the map, Leng Miao finds Ponyo on the Lich. They're able to chase him and get the kill. Lich a little bit too far forward in that situation. Bro, what is happening with these topside supports? Both CXK and Ponyo just playing in such advanced positions.
Yeah, I mean, especially once Rubik's level 3, right? That is Rubik's timing. You know, just being able to get that Fade Bolt off on the laning stage. The big weakness of him is just that you really can't do much. You've got such long cooldowns, especially around that telekinesis. But, I mean, the one thing is, Broodmother, he's had a pretty decent start to this game. Basically, the only core that I would say that's, well, I guess Slark kind of is happy about how things have started off, but certainly not giving up that early kill over to the Beastmaster. But in terms of levels, he's actually a fair ways behind TZY, so...
Oof, mid lane.
Yeah. This is
I was busy watching this. Hara came back, right? This is one of the scary things about support Spirit Breaker. You know, supports normally, I die, I come back, I refill my mids bottle. Spirit Breaker not only does that, but provides immediate kill threat. Yep. They are able to get it as soon as they hit the level 6 on the Timbersaw. So Chosen One, not only getting his entire life rearranged in the mid lane with the CS department, but now also suffering a death. Bro, he is a solid level
right
behind.
Yep. It is not looking good. I mean, we're having a look over at the last hit graph now. Can we have a look over at net worth? Because I just want you to have a quick look at Void Spirit relative to the Spirit Breaker right now. He is behind SB in farm. And yes, Hara is 3-0, but this should not be happening. Hopefully Hara doesn't die underneath the tower. Rubik making a TP down, trying to yoink a quick last hit.
He's Gucci. Hara's fine,
Nighttime.
Hara's fine. It's nighttime. Slark was at the tier 1 tower, so they don't get the bonus vision from him. It's all good. Hara's chilling. And now he's actually going to charge middle. Right? No, he's charging middle. They're going for Chosen One. Void Spirit's dead. Butterfly Effect has a double damage rune. There's no Dissimulate. And what's actually crazy is there's still no Astral Step. 7 minutes into the game, he's level 5 on the Void Spirit. Gets killed off again by Butterfly Effect.
Oh, Ponyo, they were able to get the Wizard of Rune as well on the top side. Yeah, at least Rubik was able to get the one down bottom, but you will be feeding a kill over to the Broodmother. So again, I really thought that they might have been able to get a kill onto Brood, but again, just giving this Timbersaw an even freer game has much higher priority.
Dana, do you remember the game we did of Limit where they only got, what, I think 3 or 4 Wisdom Runes across 2 games?
Oh,
so we had one now.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. They've learned little things at least. Chosen One is getting dived once again. I mean, until he's level 6, this is going to keep happening, and they'll know that he doesn't have the Dissimulate available.
Chosen One's being
tier 2
dove
tower
on.
butterfly effect.
I mean, he's a Timbersaw, level 8 almost, with a Bracer. What's he got to fear? Still has 12 one charges. Down bottom, they also almost lost a Slog whilst this was happening. So iG.Vitality, they're showing their quality relative to the Limit Gaming lineup. Slog is able to jump himself away, but CXK will not be so lucky. He is dead. Hara, dominating streak, Spirit Breaker, 4-0-1, 8 minutes in on the Moon Cow. What a player.
What a player. Telling you, man, he was just charging up those bashes, and man, Chosen One really wants to be able to make something happen up on this top side, just waiting for the Bloodseeker to come back to lane. But they saw him walk up top. It wasn't with any sort of power rune. They've got this Observer Ward there placed by Butterfly Effect, so this Void Spirit is going to move up here, but not actually going to be able to accomplish all that much.
Bottom, we still have another engagement. Bottom. Exactly. They're looking for A. Hara right on top of him. Almost has the level 6, and like you said, he's been triggering up these bashes, queuing him up for this moment. Ukyo is here. Oh my god, look how fast Ukyo is. 613 movement speed, Rupture out on the Slug, and the little fishman is definitely gonna die here. Hara doesn't even get taken out. CXK, he's too low level. Fade Bolt's only level 2, so not enough pressure to apply. They get the Slug kill, they get the tier 1 tower. They don't give up anything elsewhere either in the process here. Even though this tier 1 top is going to fall, if I'm losing a tier 1 tower to Broodmother at 9 minutes day knock, I am ecstatic about my game.
I'm pretty happy about that. And they will see as well the Slug immediately TP down towards this bottom side. So they know that they're suddenly, like, he's going to be level 6 now. So now at least you've got the potential to be able to rotate back towards the jungle. Shadow Dance is not active, so they might know that they've got general vision around that sort of area, but they could just keep playing around this this mid tower, right? You're really not worried about the Slug at this phase. You've got effectively like 3 counters to him in all of your cores. They've all got damage that's going to be able to go through that Shadow Dance.
Yep. Ground targeted damage, a nightmare for Slog to play into. And the tier 1 tower middle is going to fall after they've also eviscerated both of the supports. And iG.Vitality enjoying a 6k gold lead at the 10-minute mark in this game. Chosen One and Leng Miao are coming in to try to kill off Butterfly Effect, but I don't know if this is even a viable kill. They're going to try though. 4 heroes are here to try and make this happen, and Butterfly Effect will get taken out. He went to the high ground here, so got isolated from the rest of his team. Hara will also get taken down, potentially. This will give away a big streak of gold. Leng Miao on a killing spree now, ending the dominating streak of Hara. They don't get much more from this, but what do you make of that movement from the Timbersaw to go up the hill rather than towards his team?
I mean, we talk about it at length, right? Sometimes you're having that good of an early game, you overestimate your relative strength. You know, it's still 10 minutes in. You know, you're a Timbersaw, but only the 2 points reactive armor, right? You're not this unbreakable, you know, tanky beast. You know, you get on top of this Broodmother, who again, like, he's having a pretty decent time up on this top side. 3-0-1-1 on Brood. He's getting charged now. A lot more attention needing to be given over to him. I wonder if Ukyo is actually going to look to connect onto it. I mean, he's got the Rupture available, and you did just... he did just move up here. Didn't TP, though, for the Brood, so I guess he could always just move away.
Ukyo took the Twin Gate down bottom, so thinking potentially about going onto the Slog. Rupture is there. They dropped the Chain Frost as well as the Sinister Gaze, but they have lots of ground targeting, but what they do not have are ground stuns. So he just TPs himself to safety. Ooh. CXK, nice little lift on Butterfly Effect. Regrettably, it's not going to succeed in keeping him alive, but it will provide some fodder for the highlight reel. As Ukyo able to get himself on a killing spree as well, bringing down the Rubik.
Hopefully
mid
they're
lane.
Still able to get this kill on mid, and yeah, they do. I'm swapping away from a lot of the damage that the Void Spirit was able to output there. So you know what? Things have stabilized a little bit. You know, it was down to a 6k net worth lead. Yeah, about that at the 10-minute mark. I mean, that's almost just grounds for GG right there. But being able to bring it back to 4k, the win probability still stands around the similar sort of mark. And I just feel like Butterfly Effect, he's not going to make that similar sort of mistake again. You know, maybe he goes for another dive, but it's going to be after he finishes up the Kaya Sanj.
Dana, you're talking about win probability. You shouldn't have said that, because now we can guarantee that Limit Gaming will win game 1. It was 17%. True. We know what that means. Guaranteed.
We haven't seen a lot of it, though, from Hara. The bashes, not every single time coming through. And I really feel like that all they're waiting for is this Spirit Breaker, right? To be able to have that Shadow Blade, just because then it really does feel like you are going to be able to find those surprise jumps. You know, Broodmother able to very quickly get back to the lanes, even with like a second or two of information of the Spirit Breaker charging through. But if you don't know it until he's actually hitting you, then it makes it a lot more challenging. You can get caught in these vulnerable spots. You can get roared up. You can get ruptured. And again, Vengeful Spirit, one of the better heroes in the game in terms of save, you just end up killing your own core if you swap away from a rupture.
Speaking of Venge, she's trying to assist Chosen One right now to recover in this game in the net worth department. He's still sitting at the bottom of all of the cores, but things can still change. Sadly, though, not the best at clearing out Ancient Stacks, so even though that's a juicy amount of farm. In fact, I'm looking at this Radiant lineup. Nobody actually does a great job clearing out Ancient Stacks. So they're going to have to work very hard to protect this, because if it gets invaded into by this Beastmaster and he takes it for free, that's just... That feels like one of those, not even GG because the game state is so bad, but because there's too much emotional damage.
Yeah, or the Timber. I mean, Timber is very capable of taking it up as well. Even Bloodseeker, we see him doing it on the dire side of the map with that Maelstrom. So honestly, yeah, all heroes can look to make this sort of thing happen. Speaking of Bloodseeker, though, this smoke isn't going to connect through, and it's actually going to be TZY that pops it and feels confident enough going into a 1v2 situation because he knows Hara's coming.
He's got Crimson Guard as well, so he feels very safe here. Nether Strike actually strikes Chosen One. They roll him up and kill him. Oh my god, that was such good patience from Hara. Deciding on the more priority target. Where's the bash? Hara! Hara! Where's the bash? Press the button, brother. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's just CXK. To be fair, he kind of deserves to at least have one additional life. But Chosen One, that was supposed to be a kill that they find to recover him further into the game, but him dying? He hasn't even finished off an Echo Saber. What progression is this Void Spirit going to have in this game?
There's a lot of difficulty with progression is what he's going to have. As well, you've actually got another charge just coming through. Just a lot of attention being taken away from farming patterns, it seems, that Hara is just looking to put out onto the map. Just still 1,000 gold away from being able to pick up that Shadow Blade. Once again, you've got Venge looking to slowly try and chip down this stack. I was thinking maybe, you know, he, with that 1 point in the Vengeance Aura that he just got at level 8, maybe you use that alongside the Void Spirit, just use double Astral Step with the Wave of Terror to be able to take out this stack, because this is agonizingly slow that they're going to be able to take this.
They're going to try again on bottom onto TZY, and this time around, he doesn't have his allies with him. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Yep. Wow. Okay, Crimson, once he sees Telekinesis is used and Aether Remnant is down, he's like, well, I'm out.
See ya.
CXK made a nice little play with the stolen Nether Strike, but not good enough.
Meanwhile, Slark is still trying to take the same ancient stack that he's been here spending like 1.5 minutes. Legitimately, Slark has been here trying to do this.
His team is like bleeding heroes all across the map, but here he is.
I mean, are they going to check it? Are they going to be fast enough to be able to check it? I mean, hopefully this Dark Pact is enough to do it, and it will be. That was close. Like, Timber saw after that kill on the Venge, might have been able to take it out, and, well, Broodmother, you're in danger.
But she has TP out. That's the secret tech against Timbersaw and Bloodseeker. TP Scroll. They have no counters to it. No bashes for just stop just yet.
No, they just
Speaking
went
of
a bit
itemization,
early.
what do you
SP
make of
wasn't there.
Ukyo? BKB at for 16 minutes. Does he need it this soon for this game?
Probably not, honestly, but I think if you just are crushing the game this hard, you just want to keep running forward. And, well, speaking of Ukyo, he's actually getting gone on a little bit because of this insatiable hunger, and there's the value snare. He's going to be able to get away on the Bloodseeker.
While that was happening, they are fighting down bottom. They've already been able to eliminate Chosen One. CXK falls thereafter. BKB protects the Bloodseeker up on top, and because their strongest hero, Brood, is not down bottom, they have no way to fight and defend the life of the Void Spirit. Chosen One has died 4 times in this game, and he's back to being less net worth than the Spirit Breaker.
Oof. Didn't have to do him like that, man. He was already suffering so much. This time around, when they're making the play onto the Broodmother, it's going to be with that Spirit Breaker already charging in onto the Brood. He also has his courier potentially coming out to him shortly, but this is a little bit too deep, Hara. Had the vision up. He sensed what was up. Maybe now with the Shadow Blade being delivered onto him, he's got to go for a secondary attempt. But they know that they've got the boys behind them. Can't look to make that sort of thing happen once again. All the while, TZY just keeps this bottom lane shoved in, going for the drums of Slom, in addition to the Crimson Guard. Feels like a pretty decent answer to me. You know, more overall stats, obviously going to be great for a Universal hero, but again, a way to be able to deal with the Slark and the Shadow Dance, a way to deal with the Spiderlings as well. You know, again, this is why Beastmaster is good against Phantom Lance, for example. Broodmother just can't play with these Spiderlings when he's got the Slum going.
Yep.
All that healing.
Slum and Crimson Guard feels tough to play into. We're gonna have a charge going towards mid onto the Slark, but they're jumping onto Ukyo. We're trying to bait this fight with the BKB, throwing out the Blood Right. They want A, and they force him to TP out immediately on the Slark. Hara, the Nether Strike, chases Chosen One onto the high ground, past the Astral Step. That will mean the death of this Void Spirit. 5th one in this game. Oh my goodness. On the bright side, you know, heroes were zoned away, so they at least put some pressure on the tier 2 tower in the top lane. However, iG.Vitality just feeling like this is their game, and now they're charging top as well. Hara coming in onto this Broodmother. There's the Rupture. Leng Miao, sorry buddy, there's no TP option for you this time. And we'll end up dead.
That's what we like to see, though. Learning, right? Like, they immediately made the attempt again, this time around with the SB charge coming through. Was there a double Observer Ward up on that high ground that Ponyo just got rid of? It seems like it, where Broodmother was playing. He just got 2 free D wards. All right, easy money.
Nice.
Brings him close to that level 12. I mean, Lich, one of the better supports at scaling up from level 1 ulti to level 2. You know, 250 damage per bounce all the way up to 400. You're always going to have bounce targets around with the Spiderlings coming through.
What's crazy as well is that we're about to get Tormentor timings. If the Lich is the one that gets this Aghanim shot, and you get the Ice Spire at the same time as you get 12, and you go take a fight, man, that's a pretty powerful spike of power for a support.
Oh, Chosen One, he's even getting charged right next to his base.
Feels bad. There's Primal Roar as well. There's Roar, there's damage, there's Axes, there's Nether Strike, and there is no more Void Spirit. Butterfly effect wasn't even needed. He showed up for the damage, but he's like, oh, y'all got this, it's all good.
He's got Ags. He is a 19.5-minute Ags on Butterfly effect here. I mean, I called it as over in the draft, and this is kind of why. You know, there really wasn't anything that they could do for that mid lane. It was really the only time Butterfly effect has been in danger was because of something that he himself did, as Ponyo might be able to make a great bait happen here.
He is maybe baiting. He loses his life, but brought in this Broodmother, and Brood is gonna die. Bro, how crazy would it have been if Hara was charging Slark and charged through both of them? That would have been absolutely
I was like,
nuts.
I imagine if Brood just ran up, like tried to be able to get away and just griefs his teammate. In a bit of a feels bad moment.
Well, it still feels bad because they end up losing these heroes and presumably losing out on the Roshan as well. Ukyo and TZY feeling more than strong enough to occupy the space here in the Roshan pit. Timbersoul's coming in as well, and like you mentioned, with this Aghanim Scepter, he can just be their anchor. Just shell it up, make sure nobody can surpass him to get to the Roshan.
Yeah, and TZY as well with that Crimson Guard and the Slom, he's able to just tank the Roche, no questions asked. This really feels like they just want to be able to end the game very, very shortly. You know, I mentioned the value of the Tormentor. I don't think you even need it with how far ahead you are. You know, you just want to keep playing on the limit gaming side of the map. Don't allow him to get into the next big item, whatever that might be. Like Broodmother having the BKB, it's going to be nice to be able to at least stop the Timbersaws damage from coming through, but you're really still concerned about, you know, the Bash, the Nether Strike, the Rupture, the Primal Roar. Like, there's so much that iG.Vitality's lineup is going to be able to throw at you, even once you hit this big timing.
Lots going wrong right now in Limit Gaming. As we do lose a young Spider, Ponyo gets credited with the kill, but they made that look way too easy. And this is the scary part about this is that Brood, at least for now, she still remains one of their strongest heroes. And Hara charging top now onto the Vengeful Spirit.
No dust.
A gets forced away, no dust, no reveal, so that means no bash. Invisibility is invulnerability as she gets back to the base.
Just want to see how quickly SB buys up a dust after all of that. It's working towards an Octarine for himself. I mean, pretty good when this is the sort of start to the game that you have. Honestly, double Voidstone, considering all you really want to do is be charging constantly. That extra mana regeneration makes it so much easier for yourself. Hopefully Chosen One doesn't start TPing back to base now. You should be able to get away from this and join the rest of the team.
You know the uber scary thing that we were worried about with them invading the jungle and just taking over their triangle is starting to happen. Just saw Timbersaw clearing out some stacks. How does Chosen One leave this area? Okay, drops the Aether Remnant. And iG.Vitality is just like, sweet, free tier 2. Wait, what? Holy smokes! Where did that damage come from?
How many axes did CXK have? That must have been it, right? No, just
2 axes. Yeah, just 2. Holy smokes. I did not expect that, Denog. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was actually going to be completely okay.
Yeah, me too. Well, little things going their way. Unfortunately, Void Spirit is still below Spirit Breaker in fast, much more so now at this rate. Look, I mean, that's kind of a lot of Fate Bolt damage coming through. Was that 442 that came through on the old Rubik there? I know he's got maxed out Arcane Supremacy, but goddamn.
Arcane Supremacy plus Wild Axes. Lots and lots of amplification. This is the thing, right? Like, we always underrate. It's always interesting to me that supports are the only ones that have these obscene percent-based spells. Like, a lot of the core heroes have, like, flat damage boost. And these supports, sometimes you're just like, oh my god, why isn't this hero a core? Then you get touched twice and you die, you're like, oh, I see. That's why it's not a core. Yeah.
Unless you're Whisper, then you can make the offlane Rubik work.
Yeah, Whisper can do what he wants. Yeah, Whisper can do what he wants. Who can also do what they want in this game is Timbersaw, fam, because this Timber or Butterfly Effect is incredibly strong. Down bottom,
Man,
Chosen One is he dead? No way, dude. They can't kill him. Not with 2 supports. No way, no way, no way.
But you already forced out a Shadow Dance on the Slurk. I mean, he hasn't even popped the Aghanims yet here on Timbersaw. So good luck killing this guy. Top lane at least is already being pushed in by the Broodmother Spiderlings, so you just gotta have to play a little bit more around mid, but I guess they're gonna be satisfied enough just being able to get into their next big item. I mean, they've got a minute and a half left on this Aegis, so may as well get into, what's he going for? Manta Style on the Bloodseeker, Octarine for the Timbersaw. I don't know, I don't think they need it.
I don't think so either. I have an interesting question for you, Denog, and I'll ask you after this fight because they're potentially trying to jump onto Leng now. Ponyo did have access to the Sinister Gaze, but they still don't have any reveal. Bro, somebody buy a gem. He puts the dust in his inventory now, but it's a little bit too late. They charge now onto Chosen One, and this time around, it's not just supports making this particular movement. There's also some core heroes in the mix. Hara doesn't have access to the Nether Strike, but he does have a way to keep track on vision of Chosen One. This Void Spirit will have to play his heart out if he wants to escape here, Denog. He's out of mana. He's trying to TP. Hara has the bash button this time with the charge in tow. They ensure Chosen One gets locked down and killed off. Ukyo now on an unstoppable streak.
Oh man, Hara's level 15 as well. He's got a greater Lotus as well, so 900 healing coming through. Basically a mini cheese that he's got for himself. Full Octarine finished up, Vambrace. Like, you are not killing the Spirit Breaker. And they still haven't been able to take that Tormentor yet. They do not care. They're not playing on their side of the map at all on iG.Vitality. Just about 400 gold away from an Octarine for Butterfly Effect. Game feels pretty over at that point.
What else is coming? TZY is getting a pipe, so that means the little damage Void Spirit and CXK are doing on his Rubik, that's gonna get taken away. They're actually charging middle. Dude, Hara has no chill in this game, but this is how you're supposed to play Spirit Breaker, right? You're playing the Space Cow. There's no such thing as back. The only time you should ever be turning direction is when you're forced into the fountain through death. Otherwise, it's just forward-facing charge every single time.
I wonder how much this pipe purchase for TZY was off the back of him getting killed previously by the Rubik. Like, specifically that.
I think 100%. He was just like, that sucked. Well, he has the pipe now, but it's not going to protect him too much. Well, I say that, but his team will protect him as they drop in the Chain Frost as well as the Primal Roar, killing off both supports and the Slark. Leng Miao follows them all into the grave on his Broodmother. Chosen One trying to run into the base, but do they even care about Chosen One? They're pushing 2 lanes at once, Denog. Charge in from Hara directly onto the Vengeful Spirit. Shusheng is dead. There's a triple for Ukyo. He's trying to make it an ultra. But more importantly, trying to just end out this game.
Yeah.
And that's it. GG, well played, will be called by Limit Gaming. And honestly, not the question I wanted to ask you, Denog, is, you know when they killed this Vengeful Spirit on the high ground on tier 3? How often have you won a game